Dr. Kimber, happy Wednesday. I'm excited to be here with you today. Actually, I'm really excited about the topic that we're going to talk about today. I love every topic that I talk about. I'm super passionate about it all. But I think weight and weight loss resistance and just an inability to lose weight can be so hard in so many different ways. You can find yourself an angrier person because you're carrying weight. You can find yourself being over-judgmental, so shameful towards yourself because you try everything and nothing allows the weight to get off. And so it just must be me. I must be me. I must not be doing something right. And so it's so shaming. I just think weight can distort how we believe and how we think and how we feel about ourselves, and it affects the rest of the people around us so often. And what I also am super sensitive about is the fact that you may be looking at me and maybe thinking to yourself, well, here for sure she's talking about losing weight and the inability to lose weight. She doesn't look like she has an inability to lose weight. And I just want to let you know that that's just not true. There have been times years ago in my life where I remember doing everything right. I felt like I was eating less calories. I felt like I was eating the right things. I was exercising all the time. And I just remember saying to my husband on a Sunday afternoon, after I'd just gotten back from a run, saying, I just can't make the weight come off. It's like the scale is just stuck. And now, what I will tell you is since that time, I learned a lot more. And so I was able to get that weight off. But that weight that doesn't come off easily can just be so frustrating. And you're just like, what is going on? So I kind of want to talk into that a little bit today. Hopefully, I'll meet you where you're at. If you have questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I'd love to know where you're listening from. So definitely put down in the comments where you're listening from. That's always a fun part too, just to get to know you in that way. But I want to dive in and share with you kind of as a practitioner, as a naturopath, what I see when patients come to me telling me that they are weight loss resistant. They just cannot lose weight. I see things like toxins. And here's the deal, because toxins will cause the body weight to stay on and not move. And I'm going to dive into that a little bit more. I see things like hormonal imbalances. I see things like cortisol spikes. So that extra stress that you have going in your life, it could really be the cause of not losing that weight. I see things like people eating food, but empty calories. It's just not nutrient dense. I see people overeating, but having no clue that they overate. I see people not moving, not exercising. I see thyroid. A lot of thyroid issues, hypothyroid. I see things like just an overall lifestyle. Like I love to go out on the, somebody telling me I love to go out on the weekends and just have maybe 5 or 6 drinks, alcoholic drinks. Well, okay. Well, what kind of alcohol are you drinking? And 5 or 6? What about just one? That's like having 5 or 6 cookies instead of 1 cookie. Or even worse, 5 or 6 ice cream sundaes instead of 1 ice cream sundae, right? So I see people not sleeping well, which definitely affects weight. And I see things like genetics. Sometimes you are genetically predisposed to hold on to the weight. Doesn't mean that you have to, but sometimes it's just going to be a harder ride for you. So I kind of want to break some of those down just a little bit and talk into them a little bit more. Maybe you can identify that with this. Here's the deal. I wish I would I'm going to be able to say to you at the end, I have all the answers, just do this. And give you like one do this thing. But everybody is so different and so unique. The best thing I'm going to say is if you resonate with anything that I'm going to mention about why your weight is not coming off, then I would encourage you to reach out and let's have a discussion. I'll put the link to set up a discovery call in the comments so that you're able just to click on that link and set up that call. And then the hardest part is just showing up for that. So we can figure out together what your body, what your biggest hang up is in your body, and make a plan to see some progress. Finally, right? So hello, Ellie from Iowa. It's great to have you joining us today. So let's first talk about the body. The body speaks, and there's two things that I love to take a look at on people, and you can go look in the mirror and you can kind of get an idea of maybe what could be an underlying issue in your body. So the first is look at your face. If you have a poofy face, a puffy face, then you might have a issue with hypothyroidism. Oftentimes, hypothyroidism will cause this round, puffy face, all right? The other thing you can look at is if you have acne. If you have acne on your forehead, likely your weight issue is going to be because your liver is kind of toxic and sluggish. If you have acne on your cheeks or your chin, your weight issue could be more likely a hormone issue. All right, so these are just clues that kind of help us to narrow down a pathway to look for you. If you are carrying your weight in your hips or your thighs, ladies, it's more likely that your weight is hormone connected. Men, if you're carrying it as love handles, that's your sign that it's hormone connected. Now men, if you're tending to carry weight more in your belly sticking straight out, that for you is more liver connected. All right, so there's a connection there that your weight maybe is because your liver is not able to get those toxins out, right? It's sluggish. Now, if you tend to carry weight in that upper midriff section, again, that's hormone and oftentimes testosterone. You've probably got some testosterone issues going on. That's why that weight is gathering around that issue. Now, if you have that, ladies, if you have that belly pooch, just that pooch down at the bottom of your belly, that tends to be more insulin resistance. All right, so your body's kind of fighting, releasing that glucose for energy. Okay, so you're resisting that insulin. And that just tends to store in that little pooch area. And ladies, if your bellies tend to just be a little bit rounder and more fluffy, that's where you're carrying your weight, then that also can be a cortisol issue. All right, so you can kind of see in your body overall where maybe the body is trying to give you a clue that something is not quite right. All right, so take a look in the mirror and kind of assess where you carry that weight, where your acne is on your face, all right? And see if you can kind of figure out maybe where there's a connection in your body, how your body is trying to talk to you. That's all that really functional medicine is really understanding where the body is lacking and then figuring out how to reverse that, right? All right. So let's talk a little bit about hormonal imbalances and some of the changes that you might be seeing with that. So when you have too much estrogen in the body, you might see changes like irregular bleeding, irregular periods, ladies, weight gain, especially around the thigh and hips. That's like what I just mentioned. Might get more headaches, worsening of PMS. Again, this is more for the women. Breast tenderness. Men and women might both feel some fatigue, decreased sex drive, and also just feeling more anxious, more depressed. I've seen that in men who have some estrogen excess as well. So it's not just women that can have estrogen excess. Some of the low estrogens, hormone symptoms, anxiety, changes in your mood, such as just having a low mood or finding yourself being more irritable, changes in your skin, like excessive dryness, oiliness. So just these opposite reactions can happen. Also a really good one, if you have low estrogen, is the onset of adult acne, right? Did you not have acne growing up and now all of a sudden you have adult acne? What's going on? It could be low estrogen. Discomfort during sex, ladies out there, and just feelings of kind of a loss of self-worth. Maybe you just think that it's just you, but it actually could be just a decrease in your estrogen. So these hormones not only cause this weight gain or weight change in your body, but they can also cause these other symptoms too. And one of these days on a live, I'm going to kind of dive into that just a little bit more for you. But I just wanted to give you a little heads up. If you have a weight issue that's not changing and you have any of these other things going on, there can be a connection to hormones right there. All right, I also want to talk about perimenopause and menopause. Now, ladies, perimenopause can start as early as your early 30s. Menopause is generally in the mid-50s when a year after your last period. If you've not had a period for a year, then on that date, you can pretty much say, I've gone through menopause or I'm in menopause, right? But interestingly enough, one of the things that can happen in menopause or perimenopause is this increase in belly size. Now, I kind of alluded to that a little bit ago, but what happens? What's going on in the body when you're going through menopause, perimenopause? Well, basically, the muscle tone is lost because you have this reduced amount of hormone production. And it's oftentimes replaced by fatty tissue deposits. All right, so your hormones are fluctuating, the muscle tone is being lost, and it's getting replaced by fatty tissue deposits. Yuck, right? So what do you do with that? Well, ladies, we have to do weight resistance training 2 or 3 times a week. Whether you want to use your body, get down on the floor and do some push-ups, or lean against a wall and do some push-ups. Whether you want to use your body or you want to go to a gym and actually lift weights, the way that you are not going to have that weight gain in those areas with perimenopause and menopause is to replace it with muscle. Keep the muscle strong. We also see a weight gain happen or a weight loss resistance happen during this time. What in the world? That again is simply the hormone fluctuation going on. I kind of talked about when the hormone imbalances, you have these excess hormones and you have a decrease of hormones. And some of the body symptoms that can happen, that happens weight, putting on weight, a resistance to lose weight can happen. So ask yourself, are you in perimenopause, ladies? Are you in menopause, ladies? Okay, and here's the hard truth. If you did not go into menopause at the weight you wanted to be at, you are going to have a very difficult time losing weight. And that can be part of your problem also to weight loss resistance, is that you are post-menopause and you did not go into menopause at the weight you wanted to. And so now it's going to be really hard for you. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. So hear me clearly. If you do not go into menopause at the weight and in the body that you want to have after menopause, it's going to be that much harder. And you may be complaining that you cannot lose weight. You do everything right and you cannot lose weight. And that is because it's so much harder after menopause. I hate to say that, but it is. So big goal, all you perimenopausal women and all you young women listening, make sure you go into menopause at the body weight with your body looking the way you want it to look. All right, you'll be way ahead. The other thing is, for all my menopausal friends out there, your breasts are increasing. Now, although your husband might think that's fantastic, or your spouse might think that's fantastic, maybe not. right? So you're asking the question, why are my boobs getting bigger? My belly's getting bigger. I'm eating the same, I'm doing the same things. Well, again, hormonal fluctuations during perimenopause and menopause shifts the distribution, shifts how your body's going to distribute that adipose tissue within your breast. And so your breasts can become larger. All right, so that's something to kind of remember is, again, I'm going to say it third time, because sometimes we have to hear things 3 times. Go into menopause in the body that you want to be in after menopause, right? That second half of life. All right, so let's talk a little bit about toxins. Why do toxins cause you not to lose weight? Well, you see, toxins in the body, and I'm talking about heavy metals, I'm talking about environmental toxins, I'm talking about all the great fragrances and smells out there because you just love how your hair smells, or the deodorants and all the body care and all the cleaning agents and all the candles and all that stuff. Those are all giving off toxins. And they do 2 things. 1, they enter into the body immediately puts a fat deposit around it and finds a place to store it if it can't get through the liver. And so it stores it in a fat cell. All right, because it doesn't know where to go with it, so it stores it into a fat cell. The second thing that it does is it blocks the endocrine receptors. All right, so your endocrine receptor that really is meant for that lovely estrogen is now blocked with toxin. And so now the estrogen is either going to build up or stop producing because it doesn't need to anymore. And it has no connection to go to. So you got to rid yourself of all the environmental toxins, all of that stuff that you can. You also need to rid yourself of it in your body. So you got to get your drainage funnel working well. That's what I can help you with. Making sure that you are having 2 to 3 toilet filling bowel movements a day. Your liver is working optimally. It can move all those toxins out. You're urinating them out. You're pooping them out, right? So get rid of that. Mold is also really damaging, and it causes the body to actually hold on to the weight again. Mold is interesting. It can do many things. Like it can actually soften the ligaments in your neck and your bones, so that if you go to the chiropractor because you have your neck out and it just doesn't stay in place, that's a good indicator that you might have a mold issue in your body. So it doesn't hold adjustments. Your joints pop out quickly. That could be a mold issue in your body, all right? And parasites. Parasites, actually, the byproduct on parasites, the chemical can actually mess with your brain and cause your brain, the ghrelin in your brain to actually, or the hypothalamus in your brain to trigger the ghrelin hunger hormone and make you feel more hungry. So parasites are wicked little things. They're like Trojan horses. You hear me say this all the time. They hold on to the heavy metals. They hold on to the mold. They hold on to the viruses. You got to get them out, right? You got to get them out. Now, the other thing is that those toxins, they cause your body to be in a fight and flight mode. So it triggers cortisol. Cortisol, when it is triggered, triggers a boost in the blood sugar. And so your blood sugar rises as your cortisol rises. And guess what happens? Then you gain weight, or it is impossible for you to lose weight when your body is in a fight and flight mode. So your body's stressed because of toxins, and your body's stressed because of lifestyle. How do you distress your body? Well, you get rid of the toxins, you change your lifestyle. Simple, right? I know it can be hard. That's why you need to reach out, because I can help you with that. Other indicators, other things that cause a body to be really weight loss resistant is things like your thyroid. I kind of mentioned that a little bit ago, but hypothyroid. Actually, what hypothyroid is it is a condition of where it slows down the metabolism in the body. So basically the thyroid is not able to produce enough thyroid hormone in order to have a perfectly smooth running metabolism. So all of your metabolism slows down and you tend to have constipation issues, you tend to have weight issues, bloating issues, brain fog, the works. All right, so that can be another reason. Have you had your thyroid checked by a functional medicine doc, right? Because sometimes when I look at thyroid labs, I look to see if they are slightly off. There's multiple things I look at because you might be in this large range of standard medicine gives us. Large. And then all of a sudden you come to somebody like me and go, oh no, your issues like this underlying, your thyroid's trying to talk to you, right? John, you have had a hyperthyroidism your whole life and been relatively skinny. Yes, because your thyroid you have an overactive metabolism, right? Don't we all want that? Overactive metabolism? No, we probably don't. John, you could probably share some of your health symptoms that you're not appreciating, right? Because there are things that come with that as well. Let's talk about food. Now, I know, because I hear it all the time in clinic, I hear, well, Doc, I eat really good. Okay, well, let's do a food journal. Let's see how good you eat. I love MyFitnessPal. It's a great free app that you can download and you can track your food. And a week of tracking your food is going to give you a really good indicator of how well you really think you're doing. How much sugar are you taking in? How much protein are you taking in? You need to be taking in your body weight or your ideal body weight in ounces of protein every single day. Are you getting there? How much healthy fats are you eating? That's what gives you lots of good energy. So your body doesn't crave those sugars and those carbs. Now, if you're cutting out sugars and carbs and your body is craving them, remember there is a transition time because it's used to having that, so it has to adjust. So you got to give yourself a couple weeks in order to get over those sugar cravings. You got to fight through it, fight, right? Replace that time where you want to eat a little sugar snack, maybe before bed or after a meal. Replace it with something else. Go for a walk. Enjoy a walk outside. Get outside. Sometimes people are eating the right thing, but they're working out enough. But there's other issues like leptin resistance. Leptin resistance it causes you to feel hungry all the time. And those of you that maybe have some leptin resistance, you've had this really quick weight gain, right? You have had a weight gain of, a significant amount of weight gain in a year. Oftentimes I'll look at the leptin levels and see what those are. Okay, so John says low energy, hungry all the time, heart palpitations, tightness in his chest, several anxiety attacks that were similar to a seizure. Oh, I hate that for you, John. I get it. Are you at the root of what's causing that hyperthyroidism? Got to get there. Got to get to the root. Can't just rely on medication if you're on medication. Got to get to the root or it's going to pop out some other place, right? The body's trying to talk. Got to listen. Every time we suppress our body, take away the symptom and not get to the root, it's going to come out somewhere else. It's going to find another way to express itself. All right. Lifestyle. What's your lifestyle like? Are you exercising? Are you moving? There's a million reasons why we need to move, not just to lose weight, but because another really key factor is because it moves our lymphatic system, and that's the only way we get our lymphatic system moving. Now, some of you have been dealt a bad hand and you got genetics. You got genetics playing, in your body, and that's the way it is. It's not the end of the world. Remember, genetics is a loaded gun. That does not mean the trigger needs to be pulled. Okay? There is hope. So, is weight an issue? Is weight loss resistance an issue? Are you so frustrated, so tired? Maybe you're thinking to yourself, she didn't really give me anything to do. That wasn't my intention. I can't just say that there's one magic thing, because for everybody it's going to be totally different. But what I can offer is I want to offer you me and my time. So reach out, set up a discovery call. Let's have a discussion about you and find out what is your root cause to not being able to lose weight. There is one there. We just have to find it. John, I understand. I would encourage you to reach out. Let's have a conversation. I would be where you are. Don't cut it out. Let's see what else you can do. Get it healthy again, right? All right. Here's what I want to leave you with. There is hope. There is hope. Reach out and let me help. Have a great day. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.